Hey everyone, I am Nixie and welcome to May's manga haul. So we're going to split this video up into 3 sections just like normal. So we'll start off with all the new releases that I picked up in the month of May, and then we'll go on to things that are already in print that I picked up that I was just missing from the collection. And then I always do an out of print manga haul for BL or harder to find volumes, and that'll be at the end. So let's get into it. Let's see what I picked up in the month of May. So we'll start off with a couple of random volumes from publishers. So we have from Square Enix volume 3 of Tokyo Aliens, and I was so excited that this finally arrived. I was so eager to find out what happened after the end of volume 2. I think this is an amazing series. Like it's a great new title in my eyes. So obviously we find out what happened next in the last volume's cliffhanger. We also find out a bit more about what's his name, Akira's Akira's. We also find out more about Akira's like father, what happened to him, a bit background story as well on, God, I keep forgetting names, Sho. So yeah, and we find out a little bit more about Sho and who he actually is as well, and how he sort of became part of the AMO. So like, I don't think I actually have really any that I can think of off the top of my head, like any other like alien series or anything that's like heavily based on aliens. So this is, I find, a great addition to the collection. I like the artwork as well. There's like a lot of action and stuff that happens in this. I love the pacing. And I like that the main character isn't like, you know, super powered, like awesome straight away, knows how to deal with everything straight off the bat sort of thing. You know, he's trying to find his feet, he's scared about all these things that is happening, he's overwhelmed with like all this new information that he's got about the world. So yeah, the great series, and I can't wait for volume 4 as well. I'm glad that it is an ongoing series as well, because like I'm not ready for this to like wrap up anytime soon. And then from Sublime we have Megumi and Tsugumi volume 2. These are really nice thick volumes. I love this story. Like, anyway, I've read a bit of it before it was licensed by Sublime. So this is an Omegaverse. So if you're not familiar with Omegaverse, it's basically betas, alphas, omegas. Omegas, regardless whether they're male or female, can get pregnant, and then alphas, regardless of whether they're male or female, can get omegas pregnant. And betas are just, you know, us common folk. But yeah, I love this story, and I love how these two like their interactions together, because a lot of the times you see omegas in the Omegaverse where, you know, they're kind of a bit like helpless. They can't really like not that they can't stand on their own 2 feet, but you know, there's a lot of like toxic storylines in Omegaverses where omegas are constantly being attacked by alphas and that sort of stuff, and the scene is like the lesser sex and stuff. Whereas in this, it's nice to see an omega who stands his ground, and it doesn't take any hassle from anyone, and he really sort of like shows the alphas what for, which I love in this story. But these two are super cute together. They just contain explicit content like a lot of Omegaverses do, so just be aware of that. It is an 18+, but I love this story so much. Okay, let's move on to Eyes Press then. So I feel like I did really well this month with new releases. I kind of focused more on the new releases that were coming in rather than like stocking up on like things that I was kind of missing in my collection sort of thing, because there's quite a lot of new things coming out this month. But yeah, I think I did quite well with like reading through pretty much everything. However, I haven't read this one. So this is volume 3 of Villains Are Destined to Die. Like, look how gorgeous this cover is. And it's full colour. we love full colour here, as I always say. I'm hoping it's all like, I'm trying to film this on different cameras, hopefully you can tell. So hopefully like things are a lot more clear and you can actually see you know, the things that I'm talking about here. But yeah, I love the like colours and stuff in this. But yeah, the reason I haven't read this is because I haven't picked up volume 1 yet. I thought that I had it, but it's the Remarried Empress that I've got, so I was getting like a bit mixed up. So I need to pick this up, but I'm really intrigued to get into this, because it was like, when it was licensed, this was one of the ones that a lot of people wanted licensing. So yeah, I need to get in this. All of the colours from Ice Press are really beautiful. Like, they do a good job at like presenting the manuals. So yeah, I'm excited to get into that one eventually. And then also from Ice Press, I know this is being made a huge deal of, and this is A Business Proposal. Again, it's memoir, so we have a full colour here, which is great. I really enjoyed this, more than what I thought I was going to enjoy this actually. So this is about a lady, Harry, who she is sort of, she doesn't feel like she's doing too great in the terms of like her work. She's had to try and pay off like debt from her parents, like helping her parents out with the loan and stuff. She's single, she's not getting anywhere. And she's got a rich best friend who keeps getting set up on dates that she's really not interested in. So on this one particular day, her friend was like, look, I'm gonna give you a lot of money if you would just go out on this blind date as me. Turn the guy down, tell him, you know, act like a real fool and just like really put him off, so that hopefully my dad's not gonna set me up on any more blind dates. So Harry kind of like gets talked into it. She gets her arm twisted a little bit, and so she goes out on this blind date. Turns out that the blind date is none other than this guy, who is the CEO of the company that she works for. Now luckily Harry is in pretty heavy disguise, so obviously he doesn't recognise her. However, things take a turn for the worst when the CEO is like, whoever shows up, I'm gonna marry them. And straight away after the first date, even though Harry acts like an absolute fool, he still wants to marry her. So that's where this is. And to be honest, I'm glad that this is probably minor spoilers, but I'm kind of glad that like the two main characters aren't, you know, they haven't got like massive feelings for each other, falling in love, thinking about getting married, having kids, happy ever after. I'm glad that it's not like that in the first volume, because some volumes they do sort of like, they have all this like all of this stuff happening and they're like, I don't like you, and then by the end of the first volume they're in love and, you know, thinking about the future together. I'm glad that this isn't like that. So I am interested to see actually where the turning point is going to happen now. But yeah, really fun read. I really enjoyed this. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check this out if that sounds like something up your alley. Next we're gonna move on to Yen Press, as soon as we've just done Ice Press. So the first one we've got here is My Dear Curse Casting Vampire. If you watched any of my other videos where I talk about vampire manga, you know I am kind of a little bit biased towards vampire stories, because I'm one of those people who romanticizes the whole vampire thing, and I would be the first to be there like, hey, take me as your vampire bride. But yeah, anyway, so I was really excited to see a new vampire story being licensed. I kind of actually heard a few mixed things about this. People who had already received it, some people liked it, some people not so much. I did enjoy this. There was a few like goofy moments in it, just like character reactions and stuff. However, I did still enjoy the story. Like, I kind of sort of like looked past that, like it wasn't too distracting from the story that it would put me off. but I really did enjoy this. So this is about a guy called, what's his name, Isuzu. I always butcher the names in this, so that's nothing new. But he is part of a defense team who goes out and fights vampires that obviously attack humans and stuff like that. And he's heard of a rumor about a vampire who apparently her beauty was so great that she would like cause other people who gazed upon her to basically unalive themselves and to hurt themselves, and she would protect humans from vampires, sort of like known as a vampire slayer. So this is about her and this guy trying to find out whether obviously that is true, and obviously he's trying to protect humans as well against vampires. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm excited to see where the story goes. I liked the artwork as well, it's kind of cute. But yeah, I enjoyed this, and I think if you do like vampire stories, you would like this as well, because it's not used stereotypical, like she's not she has a unique way of dealing with slaying vampires, which I thought was a really interesting take on vampire stories. So yeah, I enjoyed it and I would recommend this as well. Then we have, I just got this the other day, Me and My Beast Boss. Oh my gosh, this was so cute. This was absolutely adorable. I loved this way more than what I thought I was going to. So this is about a world where there is beast folk and humans are sort of like looked down upon as basically being bottom of the barrel, like trash. They don't get respect in the workplace. Yeah, they're kind of like the low lives as seen by like beast folk, and then you have like these dominant beasts, I guess, who are seen as like the top, the alphas of the world. So this is about Saki, this lady here, who is being picked on at office workplace. Even though she's doing the best that she can, and she is actually doing a pretty damn good job as well, but she's looked down upon by her boss, who is a beast folk, until one day the CEO of the company, who is like a dominant beast guy, calls her into the office and offers her the position of being his personal secretary. The only thing is with this dominant beast guy, is that he's very intimidating, and people can't help but like shaking their boots in his presence because it's so intense. But she is determined to stay by his side and do a good job. Like, she's finally getting praise, she's finally getting some recognition for all of her hard work, so she's determined to stay there. But yeah, I love the artwork, and I love this guy as well, the beast guy. He's so cute. Yeah, I love this story, and I absolutely cannot wait until the second volume comes out. But yeah, I really enjoyed this so much more than what I thought I was going to do, what I thought I was going to. It was kind of a bit of a pre-order on a whim, which, like, to be honest, a lot of these titles that I pick up are just on a whim. But yeah, I highly recommend this if you want a cute sort of office-based story. Super cute. And then next we have one of the most adorable shoujos I think I've ever read, and I need to find a way of how to inject this story straight into my bloodstream. It's so freaking adorable, and that is the second volume of Honey Lemon Soda. My god, when I read, well, in a previous video where I spoke about when I got the first volume, I hadn't read it at that point, and then I realised obviously the second volume's coming out, I need to obviously catch up, and I was like, my god, why did it take me this long to read the first volume and to find out about this manga because it's so damn cute. Like, oh my god, I cannot express how cute this blooming story is. So this is about what's her name, Yuka, and she is kind of a bit of like an outsider, and she got bullied in high school or elementary, I think it was high school. She got bullied anyway, for not really being able to express her emotions, and kind of like being stiff like a rock, so they called her Rocky, which is kind of awful. Like, so she was bullied for not being out there and for being really shy and stuff, and people like took it the wrong way. So in her next school, she's kind of like, I want to make a bit of a difference, I want to like change, I want to make friends and stuff like that, but she still ends up getting bullied by a group of girls who are absolute trash. And then enter Kai, this guy who has this yellow coloured hair. Oh my god, like, these two are so freaking adorable. This guy is an absolute gem, and it really does make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Like, the first volume is like one of the most enjoyed first volumes I've read, like in a shoujo or like any sort of like romance. I loved it so much, and honestly volume 2 did not disappoint. The way that it ended though kind of hurt my heart a little bit, but I think it's gonna be fine come volume 3, which I'm super excited for, which I think comes out in August. I'm also really happy that actually this is a long ongoing series. In Japan, volume 22 just came out in March, I want to say. So it's a really long series so far, and I'm hoping that the way that it started off, I hope that it's like that throughout, because even though there's not reinventing the wheel or anything like that in shoujo manga, like the way that it's done is just so well written, and the characters are really adorable as well, that I'm so happy that it's like, I just hope that it's like this throughout the whole of the series, because it's freaking adorable. So if you pick up anything, pick up Honey Lemon Soda. That's my like top recommendation at the minute. Obsessed. Then we have a new BL license from Yen Press as well, and this is Manner of Death. This was super interesting. I've really enjoyed this. It's a thick volume as well, so it took me a minute to get through it. So this is about Bun, who is like a forensic doctor. He does autopsies on bodies, and he's like the one that can do the autopsy. So one day he gets called out to alleged suicide. A lady who's hung herself, and he notices that the boyfriend's there as well, but he's not really reacting much to her death. So he becomes prime suspect from Bun. So this guy Tan, and it's about the mystery revolving around the death of this lady, and obviously this Tan guy, her boyfriend. So he's trying to work out like what actually happened in this situation, but it was really interesting read. A few twists and turns in this as well. So if you do like crime, mystery, and you like BL as well, then I would definitely recommend this. I mean, it doesn't lay too heavy on the whole like romance side of it, but the crime and the mystery is definitely interesting. I am excited to see like how the romance does develop in it as well, and I'm also intrigued to see how this crime is gonna play out. So yeah, great read. Next we have something that I was really impatient for. We have the third volume of The Other World's Beans. The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, volume 3 finally. This wasn't available to pre-order for the longest time, and then it suddenly appeared, and I was super excited. I love this. This is a isekai BL. So this is about a guy who is an accountant. He was really getting worked to death, and on his way home he decided to stop off at a convenience store, and he heard a bit of a commotion going off down an alleyway, so he went to see what was happening. And he saw this woman that was in the ground being sucked through a portal. So he tried to help her and accidentally ended up getting sucked in, and he got isekai to another world. Obviously they weren't expecting this guy to come through, but they couldn't send it back either. So they were basically like, we'll get you a house, we'll pay for you to live here, sort of thing. Like, you'll just live the rest of your days comfortably. And he was like, no, I'm an accountant, I need to work, give me a job. So he got a job. However, because he is human and he was an unexpected human in this world, he has no resistance to the magic in this world, so he often gets sick and needs treatment and all that sort of stuff. Step in this absolute gem of a guy. He is the head of the Knights. And he sort of like ends up being the person that looks after him. Enter romance. I love this story. It hasn't really focused heavily on the romance side of it. You get like little interactions and stuff, but it's starting to heat up a little bit now. But it's a really enjoyable read. I don't tend to dip my toes into a lot of isekai because there's so much out there. It's so saturated with isekai that it's, for me, I find that it's hard to determine where to start, what's going to be a good story that isn't like 10 million volumes long. But this, I've really enjoyed this as an isekai. But yes, I definitely recommend this. It's super cute moments as well, and it's a fun read, definitely. And then lastly, if you know me, if you've been on this channel any amount of time, you will know how much how happy I was to get this in the mail, and that is Sasuke Vino Volume 8. Oh my god, this is so cute. I love these guys, Sasuke and Mina. Like, if you've seen anything manga related on this channel, I love these two. So it's the next installment of these. I love this creator's artwork. It's freaking adorable how they draw the characters and stuff, like, so adorable. They do have Hirano and Kagera, which is like a spin-off to this story. It's about one of the mutual friends. But the creator also has another BL title that's about two actors, I believe, and I really hope that Yen Press licenses that, because I would love to read that as well, if it's anything like how these two titles have been. But yeah, there's not much to say other than you need this in your life if you like BL romance, if you like the sort of like high school trope. Yeah, it's adorable. Like, you need this in your life. I don't care what anyone says. Adorable. One of my favourite ongoing series, without a doubt. So that's everything that I got from Yen Press as well. So next we'll move on to June, because actually June had a few new licenses come out this month as well, which is really exciting because June is a really small publisher, so they don't tend to have like a lot of new licenses recently. And because they're so small, like, they tend to go out of print like fairly quickly. But we have Pure Love Sexy Time Volume 2. So this wraps up this story now. This is kind of like a little bit like Cast Heaven, just not as toxic as that, but it kind of follows a couple of different couples that are kind of in the same friend group, and it follows like their romances and interactions with each other. There's nothing too like dramatic that happens in this. It's kind of like just different like scenarios and stuff that happens, but this, like I say, is the final volume, so that wraps up this story as well. Next we have I'm not even going to attempt to say this, it's this if you can see it. So this is not really explicit actually, and there's kind of 2 stories in this, and this is about what's his name, a college student called Maruta. So he gets a job, well, hears about a job as a lab assistant for Iowa, this guy. He kind of, his assistants kind of find him a little bit difficult to deal with, because he is quite strict in the way that he likes things done. He's out in the field a lot, researching like plants, bugs, things like that. So yeah, Maruta gets taken on as his assistant, but starts to develop feelings for him. There is an age gap in this. I know some people don't like that. But yeah, this was actually super cute, and then there was another little like side story in the back as well, which was super cute as well. So I highly recommend this. This was really enjoyable. And then we have Black Eagle in the Sahara. So this was a really fun read actually. So this is about a guy called Black Eagle, and his family sort of run a trade of selling slaves, and they keep them. However, he looks after his slaves like pretty damn well. And one day he gets captured by someone who really dislikes him. Enter this guy who is a trainer. So he trains slaves to be obedient in a very dominating kind of way. So this is about basically their interactions, their blossoming love, and what happens to like the slave village when Black Eagle isn't there. Again, with a lot of June's licenses with the one shots, they tend to include like another story from the author, which this one does as well. This is very explicit, so just keep that in mind. Definitely an 18 plus, but I really did like the interactions with these 2 and how they became a couple. So yeah, I recommend this one. This one was a good read as well. So next we're gonna move on to Tokyo Pop. Tokyo Pop kills it every time they license anything. A lot of their stuff, at least what I pick up, is BL, because they really do license amazing titles, mostly like one-shots, and we had some great releases this month that I was highly anticipating. So first of all, we have A Complicated Omega's Second Love. So this is an Omegaverse. It's so great that we're starting to see more of the Omegaverse stories getting licensed, because there are some really great ones out there, and there's definitely a high demand for Omegaverse stories. So this is about Sakura, who is an office worker. This is office romance, and he is trying to suppress the fact that he's an Omega in the workplace, which is dominated by alphas. So he's trying to cover up the fact that he is actually an alpha. Things don't go according to plan, things go a little bit wrong, and he ends up losing his memory, and when he wakes up he finds that he is with the his alpha colleague, who is kind of like his rival. So it's about them two. Really cute, really great story. I enjoyed their interactions, and how the alpha actually wasn't a sort of like stereotypical kind of alpha. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I love, like I always say this, Tokyo Pop adds, hopefully this is focused, but I really love the fact that Tokyo Pop adds on their like warnings, what kind of story it is, and their age rating as well. Like, it is so helpful to readers and the consumers. I wish like every publisher would do that, put a little bit of thing, because sometimes there are some really triggering things that are in a lot of stories, and you kind of get a little bit blindsided by them. So it would be helpful if like all publishers would do that. Next we have Confessions of a Shy Baker. This is kind of like a a more modern version of What Did You Eat Yesterday. What Did You Eat Yesterday is one of my absolute favourite ongoing series. That is kind of like a classic sort of mature couple and an established relationship. And this is kind of like the same sort of vibe. However, there is a lot more drama in this. I will say that there is a side character in this that is quite irritating, but it is based around Yamamura and his boyfriend Gon. So he is trying to cook things for Gon to try and keep his weight in check, basically. So it is kind of like cookbook slash story, but it is more heavy on the story than the like cookbook, as opposed to like What Did You Eat Yesterday, where it's quite heavy on the food. But these two are quite cute. I really do I have really enjoyed reading this, and it's nice that Tokyo Pop has picked up an ongoing series as well, like BL. But yeah, this isn't, it's not too heavy on the like romance side, because what's his name, Yamamura is actually in the closet still, so he's trying to keep the fact that he's gay hidden from people, whereas Gon, he is out and proud. So yeah, it's about them two. Really fun read, and I recommend it if you want something a little bit lighter to read, but like I say, side character a little bit annoying. And then this was highly anticipated by me. I was so happy to see this licensed, and so happy that it came out early, and that's My Dear Agent Volume 1. So this is just a 2 volume series, so it's not that much of a commitment, and this is about Richie, who is this guy on the cover. He is like an agent looking after an heir, the grandson and heir to a major company, and one day a bodyguard gets assigned to the team to go out on the field and look after this heir, and it's about them too. This is super cute, really enjoyable read, and I'm so happy that it got licensed and it's here. I like the artwork. There's a bit of action in it, there's a bit of drama in it, as you would kind of expect from like a agent bodyguard type story. But yeah, I highly recommend this. This is super fun, and I don't think we have to wait that long until volume 2 comes out either. Next we have OG's Summer Break Volume 1. I love this cover. I love like the bright colours from this, the orange and the yellow, super cute. Anyway, this is about, I'm sure I'm butchering his name, Oggy. This is about this guy who is kind of a bit out there with his fashion sense and stuff like that. He tends to like wearing a lot of girls' clothing as well, painting his nails, all that, you know, just being an individual, which, you know, we all should be. And he befriends Tego, which is this guy, who is blind. They become sort of fast friends. Tego is kind of a little bit like selfish in some of his sort of like wants, but this is about them two that meet sort of over summer break, kind of like a friends to lovers trip. OG like has feelings for Tego, and it's basically about them, their interactions and what happens over summer break. I did really like this. This is fun. It wasn't like all wholesome. Like I say, with Tega's sort of like kind of a bit of selfishness. But yeah, this was really fun to read. It's nice to see as well that we have different characters that are represented in manga as well, being licensed, especially by big publishers like Tokyo Pop. So yeah, this is a fun read. We can pre-order volume 2 as well, which I think comes out later this year. It is an ongoing series as well, so again, great that Tokyo Pop has picked up an ongoing series to license. Next, this was highly anticipated by a lot of people, and a lot of people absolutely lost their minds when this got announced, and that is We can't do just plain love. This is 18 plus, not BL from Tokyo Pop. If you think about it, the premise of this story is kind of quite weird. And so this is about a lady, Sakura. She's being transferred to work under a new supervisor whose name is Tatsuki. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a bizarre premise for a story. So she gets transferred to work under this new supervisor, and he actually cannot speak to women. He kind of has some bodily reactions as well when he like speaks to women, and he's really nervous, and he kind of loses his cool, and he just can't deal with them. She has a smell fetish, which I suppose is not that weird, I guess. You know, she really likes the smell of her new boss, supervisor. So the conclusion that she comes up with is she sees him have this bodily reaction when she's in the car with him, and she's like, hey, I know, I'm gonna help you get over your fear of speaking to women. She has an ulterior motive because she likes the way that he smells as well. So they kind of come to this agreement that like, okay, you're gonna help me get over this like fear of women by sleeping with them, by them sleeping together. But the thing is like when they sleep together, he's no longer sort of shy and you know, uncomfortable and that sort of thing. He seems very very aware of what he's doing and how to do it. But yeah, if you kind of put the premise of the like the baseline of the story like sort of a bit back to your mind, then this is an enjoyable read. It's fun, it's quite humorous, and like I say, it is a Jersey, so it's for the more mature readers, 18 plus, because it does contain explicit content. But yeah, I'm kind of like intrigued. It's piqued my interest as to sort of like see where it goes. Like I say, a lot of people were super thrilled that it was released in English. And then a final one from Tokyo Pop is Platinum Blood. I really enjoyed this. Vampires again, slightly biased, I know. So this is about a priest, Kaname, this guy obviously, who sort of adopted a child who turned out to be a vampire called Al. Well, he knew he was a vampire, called Al. But Al refuses to drink human blood, but there is another way that he can get sustenance to obviously survive and everything. So people might not like it as it's like adoptive incest, as Tokyo Pop calls it on the little trigger warnings, and it is kind of like a bit of a religious kink as well, as it's described on the back of here. So just keep that in mind. I know that that's probably a big thing that people will want to know of going into the story, because that will probably put some people off. But I really enjoyed this. I liked their interactions, like their relationship, how it actually developed. There's a bit of drama in this as well, like a whole situation that happens. It is just a one shot. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I want to see more BL vampire stories as well, because the only other one that we've got from Tokyo Pop is Fangs, which is great if you haven't read that. But yeah, we need more vampire BL. You can never have enough vampire stories anyway, so give us more vampire stuff. And that's everything from Tokyo Pop. So let's move on to we'll go on to Seven Seas next. So we'll start off actually with a novel, highly anticipated, can't believe it's actually here now, and that is the final volume of Grand Master of Demonic Cultivation. This is an absolute gorgeous cover. I love MXTX's work, as you know if you've been here any amount of time. She's the only author to actually like make me cry over a book. I absolutely sobbed my socks off Heaven's Official Blessing, and that is hands down my favourite like novel ever. But yeah, so Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation comes to a conclusion. It does have the extras in it. I know some people were eager to know whether we do get the extras. We do. If you know, you know. So it's great that they included that in uncensored as well. But yeah, I'm so happy to have like the physical of the English release like actually in my hands, and with this absolute gorgeous cover as well. They did a really good job at like their presentation. I kind of wish that we got something like the German version. They've got hardbacks as an option with gorgeous edges, like patterned edges that honestly I kind of like am tempted to get anyway, because I love MXTX's work. So we are also getting the manhwa as well, that's being published in English as well from Seven Seas, which is amazing. We just need them to license Heaven's Official Blessing, that manhwa, because the artwork in that is absolutely stunning. But yeah, so Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation Volume 5, final volume. It does come with extras if you want that. So we get some postcards as well, so it's like the covers of the books, which is nice that we do actually get some extras, like the option to have extras. Like a lot of like in country of origin, like especially China and Japan, like it's really standard to be able to order you know, manga manhwas with extras like acrylic stands and stuff. We do get this absolute gorgeous notepad that I'll never use because it's too beautiful. It's a soft matte feel, and we get obviously Wei Wuxin, La Manji as well in there, and it also comes with 2 posters. But yeah, I would love it if we started getting like acrylic stands. Like if you see my reorganizing my manga collection, you'll see that I've got a few acrylic stands as well. That's what I would love to see from English publishers, is like bonuses like that. And then the other poster, super cute, absolutely adorable. I love them. Like I say, I am a massive fan of MXTX's work. Like I kind of read everything like pre-English license, so I'm very familiar with the works. There is animes of all 3 stories as well, if you're interested in watching it rather than like reading it. I highly recommend taking in some form of content of MXTX's work. But yeah, so that concludes Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. Scum Villain Self-Saving System is also done and dusted now. So the last one to wrap up will be Heaven's Official Blessing, which will probably be next year, I think, volume 8. Okay, 7 Seas. We also have My Secret Affection volume 2. This is actually the final volume of this. Super cute. This is where in a world a meteor hit Earth and turned everyone gay. However, we find that this girl here, Kazuha, this lady here, she's actually not gay. It didn't affect her, and she's actually straight and has feelings for a childhood friend. This is about those two and her confessing her feelings. It kind of ended in a way that I didn't quite expect, but it was still I was still kind of satisfied with the ending anyway. But this was really, really cute, and I still recommend it. It's only 2 volumes, so not like a massive commitment. Next we have Colourless volume 4. I really like the fact that there is actually colour in this. So we got like little flashes of this beautiful like teal colour that we see like here. I haven't read this because I still need to pick up volume 1, which I think I'm going to do next month. Like I said, I've kind of just been concentrating on new releases, because there's been quite a few this month rather than other stuff as well, but I do need to desperately pick up volume 1 of this and catch up. And then we have the final volume of I'm Not Meat. I loved this series, very comedic, however a lot of workplace harassment towards this poor guy, Kunio. This poor guy, like the way that he gets treated by these women, unfortunately there is a lot of women like this in the world, that kind of think that just because they are women they can get away with like harassing guys, which is absolutely trash. But yeah, so he sees women as apex predators. He's a massive like nature buff, so he sees them as apex predators when they sort of like come onto him. However, he's met a lady, Azumi, who he actually doesn't see as an apex predator. So it's about those two, and like I say, I feel sorry for him so much that he's had to deal with like all these blooming women. But yeah, I really liked this. It is explicit, so for like mature readers as well. It is part of the Ghost Ship imprint, so just for you to be well aware of that. But yeah, I think it's hilarious as well, like the way that he does actually depict these women. Like I say, there's these massive apex women and apex predators, and he sort of like sees himself like in there as well. But yeah, I highly recommend that. It's like I say, only 3 volumes, so it's not like a huge commitment either. Next we have Crossplay Love Otaka v Punk. This is volume 4. This is really cute. So this is about Hane. Not this guy, they're not on the covers. This is about a guy who dresses up as a woman and actually has a job at a maid cafe. He loves being, because he's a huge otaku, and he finds that when he's dressed as Hana, who's like this alter ego, he finds that he can really become who he is. Like he's confident in himself, he's more social, and he just feels really comfortable like actually dressing up as a woman. While he's working in the maid cafe, he catches the eye of this punk, this delinquent, who feels that the only way that he can go up to Hana is by also dressing up as a female to be able to go into this maid cafe to have interactions with Hana. So it's about those two trying to like obviously keep up the facade that neither of them are actually a guy, but things are starting to seem a little bit suspicious about each other, and they keep having interactions with each other out of female clothing. This is such a fun read. I really enjoyed it a lot more than what I thought I would enjoy the series as well. There's a few other side characters and interactions as well. It's definitely light and fun, and I highly recommend it if you do want something that's just like more on the comedic side, and with cute moments sprinkled in. So I really enjoyed this. Next up we have Sword of the Demon Hunter Volume 2. I freaking love these covers. It's like a textured matte, but really nice covers. I enjoyed this second volume more than I did the first volume. We're getting a lot more like action coming in. So this is about what's his name, Jinta. So this is about Jinta, who is who's appointed to protect the Shrine Maiden and this village, and they become under attack by demons. So he is sent off to go and try and hunt down this like really strong demon. But it all kicks off, or it starts this is like the catalyst to what's going to be like a whole heap of mess that's going to happen. Really interesting. Like I say, I enjoyed this a lot more. There's some like messed up things that happens in this, but yeah, I really recommend it. I like the artwork as well. I'm trying not to like show anything that'll spoil anything. But yeah, this was kind of like a bit of a whirlwind of events that happened in this. But yeah, I really like the artwork as well. So if you're interested in sort of like the you know, like shrine maidens, demons, like old Japan, then I highly recommend this. Next we have Marmalade Boy volume 2. So this is like a reprint of a classic. They've also like retranslated some parts, I think, probably to like bring it into sort of more modern times, I guess. Maybe we do get some color pages, which is super cute. I haven't read this actually yet. I need to catch up on volume 1 still, but yeah, it's sort of a classic that a lot of people know, that sort of read when they were younger. So I definitely need to get into this now that we've got another volume came out. I didn't realize like how quick it was going to be coming out, but I love this whole like color pages that they include. Next up we have Yakuza Fiancé volume 3. So this came out a little bit early. I freaking love this series. When I started off volume 1, I was kind of a bit lukewarm about it, but by the end of volume 1 I was sold on this. This is such a fun read. So this is about Yoshino, this lady here who basically gets shipped off to get married to sort of like a rival family. So she is to be married to a grandson, Kirishima, who comes off as a nice guy who everyone loves and everything, but he is a freaking psycho, it turns out. And by this volume he is absolutely obsessed with Yoshino, or seems to be, and she is not having any of it. She's like, dude, you have some issues, I don't know how to take you, I don't know what you're thinking. So she's trying to like put a bit of a barge pole between them, but I do love their interactions. He is a sneaky one. There's some background stuff that's happening, yeah, that I just want to know more of, and I want to like know whether his feelings are properly like, you know, solidified in the fact that is he just obsessed with her, or does he actually love Yoshino? So yeah, I can't wait for more of this. And then finally we have, this is one that I haven't had a chance to read yet. So this is a story of 7 lives. Like, look how cute this is. This is a cat manga about a cat who used to be have a family and everything, be with a family, and then unfortunately I think they passed, and so he's kind of on the streets a little bit. But yeah, super cute like cover. The artwork looks adorable inside as well, so I think it's just like bunch of interactions and stuff like that, and his story or her story. But yeah, looks super cute. We love anything animals over here, so I was excited to get this. I just need to obviously dive into it. It is just like a one shot, I believe, and it's quite chunky. It's the oversized print, but yeah, we love animal manga over here. And then finally from Seven Seas we have The Titan's Bride volume 3. Very explicit. This is an isekai as well, where Kuchi gets summoned to another world to be the bride of a titan, Chaos, who is a freaking gem. Like, I would be like, yes, okay, I will be your bride, Chaos, because you are just adorable. They're super cute. I love how they are together as well. In this volume we kind of get the conclusion to the whole month. So basically when he first got summoned, Chaos was like, I shall give you a month and then you can decide whether you want to stay or go. And in this volume we get the conclusion as to what the answer is going to be, because volume 2 did leave off on a cliffhanger. So yeah, we get the conclusion of that in volume 3. I have read, I think probably volume 5 is going to be new material for me. because I've already read this and sort of like what happens next as well in this. So I think probably volume 5 is going to be the new material for me. But I'm so stoked that they chose to pick this license up and give us an English release of this. It is uncensored. I'm glad that Seven Seas managed to get the uncensored license, and it is part of the Boys Love license as well, in print. So yeah, if you are interested in BL, you don't mind explicit stuff, and you want an isekai story as well, then go ahead and pick this one up. And then final publisher, we are going to move on to Viz Media. So first one we've got is a shoujo beat. This is My Special One volume 2. I really enjoyed the first volume and I enjoyed the second volume as well. So this is about Wakami, this girl here who, she is not interested in boys. She had a bad experience and she was like, hell no, I am not getting involved in love. That is for suckers. Until she meets an idol and she has interactions with this idol. So this is about their interactions. Volume 1, I don't want to like spoil it or anything, but volume 1 ended like with a response that I was not expecting whatsoever. And the end of volume 2 is so cute. But yeah, this is a very cute volume. We find out more about Kota's background and why he is the way that he is, and why he acts the way that he acts as well. So it was really great that we got some like background story about this character as well. And I kind of wait for volume 3 because the cliffhanger at the end of this volume, my days. So yeah, can't wait for volume 3. Then we have T-Star volume 1. So this is about a character called Mother Militia, who is basically an assassin who is killing off bad guys, people who have been doing naughty things, but police can't catch this Mother Militia. They can't find like any weapons, like they get no evidence from like bullet shells or anything like that. So this person is kind of like a bit of a mystery, but there is a young guy that ends up being caught up in all of this, basically getting caught up in Mother Militia's life and sort of throwing her off a little bit. Really interesting first volume. I liked the characters that are in it as well, and I'm kind of intrigued to see like where this is gonna go, because things were starting to go a little bit south. So yeah, this was really good. I know a lot of people really enjoyed this volume as well. It's also the creator of Spy Family, but I think this came out before Spy Family, I think. And it's not like Spy Family, just FYI. But yeah, really interesting read, and yeah, I can't wait for the next volumes to come out of this. Then we have My Hero Academia volume 14 of Vigilantes. This is the penultimate volume, so one more to go, which I think comes out later this year, I want to say. But yeah, this is great for obviously fans of My Hero Academia. Obviously it doesn't follow Deku, Bakugo and all those guys, but we do see like a life before obviously the current My Hero Academia, with the teachers like President Mike. Aizawa is in there, which is great. I love Aizawa. Yeah, so it's great that we get to see like some of the teachers and some other heroes as like their younger selves, like before obviously, like I say, Deku. But yeah, so I think obviously if you like My Hero Academia, you will enjoy this as well. Then we have Wolf Girl and Black Prince, another shoujo beat manga. I really enjoyed this. So this is about Erika, who she is with kind of like the bitchy group of girls at school. They're always bragging about like their boyfriends, what they're doing and all that sort of stuff, and she feels left out because she doesn't have a boyfriend. So she's basically made one up. They keep bugging her for like a picture, which obviously she doesn't have, and then one day she sees a guy, takes a picture of him, and shows her friends, look, this is my boyfriend, this is a picture of him, and it turns out that that guy is actually a fellow student from another class that she did not realize, and wow, it goes south pretty quick. So the guy that she took a picture of, she kind of like comes clean and everything, and he says, look, actually I'll help you out, I'll pretend to be your boyfriend, but you are gonna have to be my dog. So when I say jump, you ask how high, basically. So it's about them. So he is a prince on the outside and an absolute devil on the inside. But yeah, this was a really fun read. If you're into like the whole shoujo thing, then obviously go pick it up. Then we have Children X Volume 2. So I think this is an early release as well. So this is from the same creator as Tokyo Ghoul. So I was highly anticipating, as I'm sure a lot of other people were, like what the next work was going to be from this creator. So yeah, it's about people who, there's these things called Trojans in the world. That have different powers, can transform into different appearances. They are quite heavily controlled, like you can't use powers, like you know, for yourself. You have strict rules that you've got to follow and everything. You've got to basically be, you know, still a good person in society and not causing havoc. And this is about a guy who ends up being turned into a Trojan. I do enjoy the series, but I feel like we need a bit more, like the story's still getting going sort of thing. So I'm not like 100% invested in it just yet, but I do love the artwork. Like if you know, obviously Tokyo Ghoul and stuff, like the artwork is quite dark. There is kind of like some goofy humor bits in it. The main character we see is sort of like a bit more on the scaredy cat kind of side. Obviously he's just been turned into this Trojan and all of that, so he's bound to be a little bit overwhelmed and going through these different interactions. So yeah, like I say, I am enjoying it, but I do, like I say, feel like obviously the story is still getting like on its feet and getting going a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. And like, I'm not saying that it means it's like bad or anything like that, but it does still feel like obviously we're in the start point of the story, obviously being only volume 2. I'm sure you know what I mean. Then we have one of my favourite ongoing series. We have One Dance Volume 5 came out. I freaking love this story. So this is based around like hip-hop dancing, break dancing, that sort of thing. So this is the next installment of this. I love how the creator manages to add in like so much movement, and this is one where like it probably sounds a little silly, but this is one manga that like gives me goosebumps when I'm reading it, with like the competition that's happening, like how intense it gets. So this is about this is not the guy, this is about Kabu, who is he finds himself like trying to blend into the background because he has a stutter and he feels like he can't like quite jump into conversations on time, or he can't get his words out. So he really struggles with that until he finds like there's a dance class, a dance club at school. So he joins that and he starts to find that this is actually like a passion like in his, and it like lights a fire in him, and he becomes like more sociable, and he's sort of like finding new ways to deal with like his emotions and everything. And he meets Wanda, who is another incredible dancer that he's managed to make friends with, and he feels like you know, she actually understands him and he understands her as well. But yeah, it's heavily based around obviously, like I say, like hip-hop dance, but they do have really cute interactions as well. And Kabu in this volume is sort of like finding out about his own feelings about like how he feels a little bit with Wanda, which is really, really cute to see. But yeah, like I say, this is one of my favorite ongoing series. This volume did not disappoint at all. Then we have the Yakuza's Bias. Like this cover. Oh yeah, we're moving on to Kodansha, by the way. One Dance was from Kodansha. But yeah, the way that they've printed this, if you can see that with this like metallic like on the cover, is so gorgeous. So this is about Ken, who is like one of the top dogs in this Yakuza family. And he gets roped into by the president's daughter, I think, of the like company family. He gets roped into watching like a K-pop documentary thing, and he instantly falls like head over heels for one of the singers. And so he's like becomes a die-hard like fan, starts Twitter, starts going to like the gigs and all that sort of stuff. This is hilarious. He's such a fun read, like it did not disappoint. But yeah, like I say, the way that he acts and like the way that people around him is like seeing him is like, what the hell. This was a really, really fun read, and I can't wait for more of this. And then from Kodansha we have number 6, volume 3. This is the final omnibus, so this collects 7, 8 and 9. Like I say, they did a great job at doing these like omnibuses where you don't feel like the spine's gonna crack, but you can still see all of the pages. So it is an oversized print as well. This is a great dystopian story as well that follows 2 guys. Very cute as well. Definitely highly recommend this if you are a fan of like dystopian stories and stuff. Like a dystopian world. But yes, I highly recommend that. So like I say, that concludes this story as well, the final volume. You can still get this in singles as well if you do prefer the singles. There's 9 of those. And then we have Twilight Out of Focus volume 1. I freaking loved this. This is a BL about 2 friends who share a dorm together. One of them is part of like the drama photography club where he works as a cameraman. They do projects like make little films and stuff, and his roommate gets basically dragged in to be to play the role of this like delinquent in a BL story. So it's about a friends to lovers trope. Like I say, I loved this so much. I really like the artwork as well, like the characters are cute, the way that they're drawn and everything. Just be aware though that in this there is a bit of a story, like age gap teacher student situation that happens. So just be like mindful of that, because it's not exactly like the most pleasant part of the story. But there is actually 4 parts to this story. So there's the couple that's in this story. Volume 2 is about a separate couple. Volume 3 goes back to this couple, and then volume 4 is again a different couple. But yeah, I can't wait to see more of this creator's work. You could get away with just having this as a one-shot, like the story kind of like wraps up a little bit and sort of concludes their friends to lovers trope like storyline. So you can get away with just having this as like a one-shot, but like I say, there is actually 4 parts to this whole universe. But yeah, I loved this, and this is going to be like a reread for me. Absolutely going to be like on my reread comfort list. And then a final volume from Kodansha, we have Sugumi Project volume 1. First thing about this, I was a teeny tiny little bit disappointed with one aspect of this. That's the cover. I'm not saying this is a bad cover, absolutely not, but when they announced it and they had the cover art up, I know it's subject to change, like it's not necessarily final cover art and stuff like that, but they had such a great like cover for that first volume that was the reason why I actually pre-ordered this, because I liked the cover. And then they changed it to this, which isn't quite as good as what the original cover art was like supposed to be. I enjoyed this so much more than what I was expecting to. So this is basically about what's his name? So this is about Leon, this guy here who basically gets taken from his wife, his pregnant wife, and is accused of some crime. So he gets taken away, and basically all of these criminals are told, you need to go on this mission to try and find this weapon and bring it back from old Japan that had been devastated by like nuclear war. So it's a totally abandoned place, but you need to find this secret weapon, this hidden weapon, because we believe that it's still out there and we don't want anyone else to obviously get their hands on it. If you do this and you come back, then you'll get pardoned for your crime. So Leon is like, well, actually I haven't done anything wrong, but you know, I'm in this situation still. So it's kind of like one of those stories. So they get shipped off, the plane crashes, and they're basically stranded on this island, a bunch of people. So Leon wakes up, finds himself by himself, and the first thing obviously he's trying to do is find supplies and everything like this, and then he comes across this woman who isn't completely human from her appearance, and she kind of like saves him, but then he keeps seeing her in like day-to-day life as if she's like watching him or like looking after him, and like something like that. But I enjoyed this so much. One of the reasons I enjoyed it so much was the artwork is absolutely incredible. It is so detailed in this. Like the creator, this is this creator's first manga story that they've done. I think it said in the back, and it's unbelievable, like, to be honest, because like I say, the artwork is so detailed. Like, look at this, it's so detailed. Really great artwork. The story is a lot of fun as well, and I'm excited to see more. I'm really stoked to like see the next volumes and stuff, so I'm super excited for whenever the next one comes out. I highly recommend this if this sounds like it's something up your alley, or even just if you want something different in your collection. Go ahead, pick it up, test it out, pick it up, and give it a go, because I didn't know what to expect and I absolutely really enjoyed it. Like I say, even for nothing else, do it for the artwork, because the artwork is absolutely stunning in this one. So that's everything that I picked up that was brand new releases. I actually only have 3 volumes of manga that I picked up that were already released, but they're still kind of actually new. So the first one I finally got, like I said in my last video, I forgot to pre-order volume 19 of Jujutsu Kaisen, so I've finally picked that up. Jujutsu Kaisen is one of those that I actually keep up with, up to date on the Shonen Jump app, which, wow, it's crazy over there where we are up to in the story. But yes, I finally picked that up and that finally came. I also picked up volume 2 of Lonely Planet, another one that is super freaking cute. We had volume 3 released last month, and this was one where I hadn't pre-ordered, well, I hadn't picked up volume 2 yet, but I had volume 1. I read volume 1 and instantly ordered volume 2 because this was so freaking cute and I absolutely loved this. I think this is the same creator as In the Moonlit, oh god, what's it called? In the Moonlit Dusk? Something? I'll put it on the screen, like here. This is what it's called. Which is super popular as well, which I want to pick up. This is 14 volumes complete. Obviously we're just waiting for them to be released in English now, but I love this. There is a bit of an age gap, just FYI, but so freaking cute that I can't wait until volume 4 comes out. Then we have picked up volume 2 of The Boxer, because we are getting volume 3 coming out fairly soon. I really like this for a boxing manga, for a sports manga. Like, I'm not a sporty person whatsoever, in case you can't tell. But reading it is like a completely different thing than like even watching real life sports. But yeah, this is full colour obviously, and it has a really distinct, I feel like it has a really distinct art style, and it's quite dark. The story is quite dark as well, and I really like that. But yeah, I highly recommend this, even if you're not a sporty person. Like I say, I'm not. Like, check this out. This is an absolutely phenomenal story so far, and the Horizon should be coming out in June, I think, which is from the same creator, which I am stoked to see like what their other title is like, whether it's like in the same vein as this. But yeah, really excited for volumes 3 and 4 to come out. So that was literally everything that I picked up for like already releases. So next we'll move on to my BL out of print, harder to find BL order. So let's get into that. So we'll sort of like just go through these. So from Yaoi Press we have Anima, which these, to be honest, Yaoi Press like aren't the like most amazing stories. They are kind of short and often have like multiple stories in one, but nonetheless picked up Anima. Like I say, I'm trying to get like as many BL that was printed in English as possible. I picked up Early the Ring Finger Nose. This is the light novel. This is volume 5, so I'm only missing volume 4. From Doki Doki, A Place in the Sun. Then I pretty much concentrated on June, like the large print. So we have Awoken Forest, Cute Beast, Constellations in My Palm, Pathos volume 1 and volume 2, which is the complete set. I really wish that June actually stuck with the or did all of the manga with the matte dust cover, because the dust covers don't necessarily age really well and often get like creased and stuff. So I think the matte ones do a lot better. Then we have Restart, Same Cell Organism, Star, Love Code, which I think there's 4 different volumes in total of this, and then Melted Love as well. And that's everything that I got that was like the out of print stuff. So that's everything that I picked up in the month of May. Like I say, there's been some really amazing titles that have been released, and one-shots as well. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you picked up in the month of May, what you've been excited for as well. And that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you liked the new camera as well. You can see things a lot clearer. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye everyone!